Hello, everybody. Welcome to NJ Thrive Small Business Webinars. Today is Thursday, January 25th, and you are attending our weekly webinar created to help New Jersey small business owners start, grow, and thrive. We're excited that you joined us today. We have a good attendee list, and we hope that you're ready to take with your pen and paper, maybe notes or anything that you're excited to learn about or have questions in. We hope that you're in for the ride. And I am your host, Uzma Sheikh, and we are NJSBDC. NJSBDC stands for New Jersey Small Business Development Centers. We are a network, a statewide program powered by the SBA, the Small Business Administration, and partners to help small businesses in New Jersey with three things: no cost small business consulting, training and events starting at $0, just like this webinar that you're attending, and exclusive small business resources. The map you see here on the right is, of course, the map of New Jersey, the state of New Jersey. And wherever you see the small SBDC logo in some of the counties in New Jersey are where our regional centers are located at some of the host institutions. So, for example, in Somerset, Mercer, Hudson, Union, Essex, just to name a few. If you are ever curious, you want to say go and say hi in person, you can definitely do so. Just check out njsbdc.com where the locations are, make an appointment, and feel free to go. So I have introduced myself, our program. Please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat below. This is where we sort of network, as this is an online webinar. Tell us who you are, what you do, what your name is, anything about your small business that you want to share, any contact information that you want to share, what you're excited to learn about today. I always like to say you never know who you might find, your supporter, cheerleader, investor, partner, never know. All right, moving on. So today's webinar is part of the tech series, and the tech series is part of the tech team. So the tech team, for short, is actually technology commercialization team, providing technical support and guidance to eligible innovators for SBIR and STTR grants to fund the R&D towards commercialization of tech innovations. What do we help with? The tech team, the no-cost pitch to proposal consulting, training and events, and exclusive small business tech resources. If you'd like to learn more about the tech team, go to njsbdc.com/tech team. Pretty simple and easy to remember. Then we have the agenda. So we have a couple of headlines that we like to share with our small business owners, just things that are happening in the small business community that we'd like you to be aware of. Then we have the speaker's presentation, and in the end, Q&A session. So for today, we have three brief headlines. All the headlines that I share here on my screen, the links will be shared in the chat below. So feel free to look through them in length. All right, so the first is an Eventbrite page. So this is the NJSBDC and SBA, our very own small business and lenders celebration, happening on Thursday, February 29th, so the leap day, since it is a leap year. So the tickets start at this price over here. It is a night of achievement, music, and networking from 5 to 9 p.m. This is the location. And here are all the nice details about the event. So if you're interested, this is definitely a celebration of the small businesses that we've served in the past year. So hope to see you there. Next is press release from the NJEDA. And this was published on January 18th, so a couple of days ago. And NJEDA names inaugural New Jersey Innovation Fellows cohort. Trenton EDA today announced inaugural cohort of 10 new businesses made up of 30 entrepreneurs that will receive a total of $3.6 million in income replacement grants, as well as mentorship and training. They mark an important milestone in NJEDA's commitment of fostering innovation and supporting businesses ventures in their critical early stages. So this is definitely tech related, R&D related. If you are interested in learning more about this program, I suggest that you definitely check their page out. And these are the names of all the cohort members. Last but not least, happening on Thursday, February 22nd, 2024 from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time is the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Investor Panel. These are the panelists, and attendees will receive a complimentary ticket to experience night forms at Grounds for Sculpture. And what this is for is a pitch stop. So three local startups take the main stage to compete for a prize package of professional services worth over $10,000. Very cool event happening, and this is where you register. So those are our headlines. And moving on, things to keep in mind. If you have questions, just as I am seeing responses coming into the chat box, please enter your questions in the Q&A box. If you have a couple of minutes, we ask you that you complete our survey. It's very brief, and that's how you can also get our presentation slides from the speaker. And also, just a reminder, this webinar is being recorded and it will be available on our YouTube channel or our video library page. So moving on, we have Robert Smith today, Director of the Navy's SBIR, STTR and Special Programs, with a very exciting topic, Innovation Insights with Department of the Navy. So pretty cool. I hope everyone is ready. And Robert, the stage is yours. Please start sharing your screen.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. I want to thank Uzma and the New Jersey SBDC for having me on today. As she mentioned earlier, make sure you get your questions in the chat box. So, you've came here. I want to make sure we answer your questions. And Uzma, if you can let me know when the screen's up and I'll get started.
Yes, I can see your screen, Robert.
Perfect. Okay. Hey, Department of the Navy, SBIR, STTR program. It's about research, and we'll go through that. If you have a question later, that's robert.l.smith42.civ, a long email address, but send me your questions. I'll do that. Another thing is if you've got to jump off and go somewhere else today, the one place you need to go to is navysbir.com, Navy SBIR.com, where there are lots of resources related to the program, not just for the Navy, but it definitely talks about how the Navy does our SBIR, STTR program, but there are also general resources and linked to other resources related to the program. Okay, where did SBIR come from? There it is. It's in law, which is kind of great. That Congress has been supportive of this program since 1982. It's been phenomenal, great return on the taxpayers' investment, making new companies, entrepreneurs, feeding them, and creating jobs throughout the United States. If you want to learn more about the program, the SBIR STTR Policy Directive, it's issued by the Small Business Administration. It pretty much sets what we can do, when we can do it, how we can do it. It's a very prescriptive program, but with a lot of flexibility if you know how to use it. Okay. Let's back up. So most people want to understand the difference between SBIR and STTR. The biggest difference is in STTR, the small business must work with a research institution, about 30% of the work. But here you go. Why did Congress create the program? Stimulate technical innovation for small businesses in America. We foster participation by socioeconomic division firms, but we have no set-asides for anyone. So it doesn't matter if you're woman-owned, veteran-owned, service disabled. We're looking for the best small business to do the research, to solve our technical challenges, to support our warfighter. Okay, and we want to increase the private sector. You'll hear a lot if you work with DoD on how we're trying to expand the defense industrial base, because we need your small businesses to support our acquisition programs, and in if all goes well in a generation, you're going to be that next major prime. Okay. Eligibility, organized for profit, located in the United States.
Robert, I'm sorry to stop you in the middle, but if you're moving the slides, then I am not able to. Okay, there we go. We were
Did
unable to
you,
see it earlier.
so what slide are you seeing now?
No, so eligibility.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm going to go back
So the
there.
two
So they
slides
remove.
that you talked about earlier, we weren't able to see them as you spoke.
So
Just wanted to let you know.
you didn't see federal SBIR, STTR?
No.
Interesting. How about now?
So yes. So you'll have to,
Okay.
I think,
I'm going to
manually
stay.
toggle back and forth through the
Yeah, I'm going to
slides.
stay out of the screen mode and do that.
Yep.
So let's make it nice and big here, though. All right, so let's back up real quick. We talked about this. The slides will be available for you later. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, which I'm in charge of. Why did you freeze on me? Oh, we'll go that way. Back to eligibility. U.S. small business, 50% owned by you. Okay, we do take proposals and fund them from companies that have venture-backed money. Okay, but it's still 50% yours. 500 employees or less. That's what defines you as a small business. We talked about STTR, United States, working with a research institution is normally a nonprofit college or university. There are some other research organizations and FFRDCs, big term. If in doubt, the bumper sticker there has more guidance for you on your company, your size, and your eligibility. Okay. I love this slide because it gives you perspective. The SBIR program in the federal government is just north of $4 billion. At the top of this, you see the federal agencies involved in the SBIR program. Some of those are also involved in the STTR program, spending that money. Okay. And I bring that up because you may not be a good customer for the Navy, or the Navy may not be a good partner for you. But don't discount the power that your technology might be used by someone else. So what I always like to tell people is make sure you make a great connection for your passion in research with your best partner. So within the Department of the Navy, DOD, you can see where the Navy falls out within the Department of Defense agencies. And down below there, you see my different acquisition commands. I'll apologize right up front. We're going to have lots of acronyms for you. But NAVAIR, Naval Air Aviation, they do my airplanes. NAVSEA does my ships and submarines. Office of Naval Research, and there's more at NavySBIR.com as to who executes these programs in the Department of Navy. Okay, it's probably a good place to go. So, what kind of research is the Navy interested in? Almost everything. Because if you think about it, I have floating ships. So I obviously have my military platforms that I want to make the best for our warfighters, both Navy and the Marine Corps. But there are other things that we'll address for quality of life for sailors and Marines. Okay, we run whole restaurants, so on our little floating homes in cities. So I like to tell people we do boots to boats, dolphins to dugouts. I used to say donuts, but I got in trouble for that one. Okay. Dolphins, absolutely. If you actually go into our website, you'll see that we've had SBIR topics related to probiotics for our dolphins. Kind of an interesting little thing, but yes, we do almost everything. Okay. Here is the path to success within the SBIR program. It's very similar across all the DoD entities, my sister services and the DoD agencies, but I want to start you to the right side of the screen. Commercialization, phase 3. That's when you sell your product to someone within the Department of Defense or in the federal government. Okay, that's called phase 3. There are no SBIR, STTR dollars involved here. These are customers using their money to buy your capability. Last year, $1.1 billion was what the Navy had in phase threes. The Navy, for 25% of the DoD SBIR budget, accounts for 50% of our commercialization. So we think we do a pretty good job. And why is that so? Let's go all the way back to the left side of the chart. We start with our topics. Those are our demand signals to you. We need help with something. We need this part to be better, faster, cheaper. We need this decision support system to think faster. There's so many different things we work on because it comes to what is the priorities within the naval research enterprise. And it's usually aligned to acquisition. What do I need to do to make that submarine better, faster, cheaper, more capable? Okay. You're not going to develop my next carrier or submarine, but you will develop the component that's going to go into, let's say, that computer software on that computer in the Combat Operations Center on the carrier. We usually have, on average, 138 or so topics per year. You'll see the number of proposals we received. You can do the math. Normally, it's about 17 proposals per topic. Okay. From each topic, we're going to pick 2 to 3 phase ones, that feasibility study. Feasibility study, that's that paper product. Okay, this is how I'm going to solve your technical challenge as you laid out in that topic in the solicitation. This is what prototype I'm going to build if you give me some real money. Okay, subject matter experts within that technical area. Also, the author of that topic will do the evaluation and go, that's a novel approach to solving this problem. I want to give you a phase two. Phase two. So phase one is $240,000 maximum. Phase two is $2 million because you're going to build and test that prototype. Okay. And if it succeeds, and remember it's research, not everything succeeds. Sometimes I need to do more research. Sometimes it just fails, or sometimes it does work, but the Navy, don't want to take that technical approach and use it. Maybe it's technically achievable, but cost prohibitive. All those play into it. And that happens at phase two. Navy needs are topics, those demand signals that are in those solicitations, and we'll get to those in a second. We have focus and open topics. Focus topics really is I'm going to define what you can achieve essentially for $2 million. Like I said, I don't want you to give me my next carrier. I want you to give me a better algorithm to work within my decision support system. I want a better coding for my aircraft. Okay. Open topic, a little more generalized. I want to know what you can do with AI to improve my automated decision capability. So those are the open topics. Key point, topics are developed and written by the government, not by industry. We'd love to have a conversation with you on the state of the art of a technology, but don't think you can hand me a topic to go straight into solicitation. Not going to how it work. We have folks that look at each and every topic to make sure that it's wide enough for full and open competition across the breadth of small business capability in America. Some critical technology areas. When people go, so what's the Navy interested in? These are kind of like the big buckets these days. Okay. And you'll probably find topics related to each of those. Okay. AI is almost in every system we have. So it's not, you just have to look at it. Okay, here are our solicitations. And the drum beats for these solicitations are pretty much the same each year, plus or minus a week or two. We try to work around the holidays, except the last one where you got to work during the holiday period. But here are the dates. So in the case right now, we're in the open period for the 24.1/A solicitation. All of our solicitations are issued by the Department of Defense. Okay, the 1 connotes an SBIR, the A connotes, or the letter connotes, an STTR. You can go to the web right now and look at those topics that are on the street that you can address. We'll get to close in a second. Why is it critical between pre-release and open? Normally a 30-day period. Pre-release is where you can have direct conversation with the author of that topic to make sure what you read is what they'd hoped they'd written. So you can understand what they're actually trying to get to with that topic. Are you trying to see size, weight, and power? What's really important? So that will help you guide you in your proposal. Okay. And I like to say, who shouldn't talk to their customer? And your first customer is going to be the topic author of that topic. Okay. That's pre-release. Open. During the open period, you can still ask questions, but your question and our response will get posted on the web for all to see. It's a great time if you got some process questions related to the instructions or something like that, but I would not use that time to talk about your intellectual property because I'm not sure you want to share it with other people. We have 3 standard solicitations, the 1, 2, and the 3. And the 24.4 will be our open topic. TBD, but you expect to see that sometime in early summer of 24. Okay. Every agency has a slightly different calendar. They're at SBA and at their individual sites, so you can look at where you fit and who you want to work with. Okay. Okay. When to participate. We already talked about that. So in the current 24.4, which is in the open period now, the pre-release, that the ability to have that personal conversation is gone. There's 95 topics on the street looking for folks to solve our technical challenges by 5 different systems commands, folks that build airplanes, ground vehicles, and systems for Marines. By the way, your individual Marine is a warfighting system all unto their own. NAVSEA, ships, submarines, Office of Naval Research, and strategic systems. And there are the technology areas within those topics. How to participate. We already talked about your eligibility. These QRC codes are going to take you straight to the website where this information is. Research the topics. Do your best to align your passion for research with that topic. Because when you, we'll get into a good topic in a second. Okay, DoD and component specific instructions. Let me foot stomp that. Please read and understand the instructions. Yes, they're long and they're boring, they're extensive, but there are reasons for we have that, mostly to comply with what Congress has told us we should do. We do our best to make it as simple as government work can be. We are the federal government. I'm sorry, we're a bureaucracy, but we have templates that you can use when it comes to writing a proposal. So look at the templates now to get a feel for how you would do your proposal, so it's not a mystery at the end. Okay, and then there's, like I said, Navy specific templates. Okay, what's different about the Navy? First off, we talked about we participate through the DoD SBIR broad agency announcement system. Okay, Navy topics are specific with the instructions that go with BAA. We do accept proposals from majority-owned venture cap companies, hedge funds, private things. The templates and resources, once again, are right there. 30% of our proposals have never worked with the Navy before. Okay, and 21% of those come from a socioeconomic category. We're pretty proud of that. And your average size is 65 employees. But I've seen many a proposal, both submitted and accepted, from 2 people in a garage. Remember, it's for small business. It's for you to grow. If we want to go back far enough, one of our major primes, right, were 2 guys in a bike shop many, many years ago. So it's how you get started. It's how you get your foot in the door with the Department of Defense to validate that you're a good partner. For us to demonstrate that we're a good partner, So is this relationship going to work? Here we go. We talked about the focus topic. Evaluators are usually 2 or 3 subject matter experts. Okay. And one of those will be the topic author. Okay. What do we evaluate? The technical merit of your proposal. What's your innovative approach to solving this problem? Okay. Your personnel. So if you have an innovative approach to solving the metamaterials in the coding that goes on an aircraft, I don't expect your technical team to be a bunch of electrical engineers. There's a mismatch there. Commercial potential is a small element of the evaluation criterion, but for the most part, you should be talking about how your capability is going to transition into the hands of the warfighter. That helps because a lot of that information is already in the topic. Okay. We have some strict guidelines we do our best to meet. From when that solicitation closes, we've got 90 days to make notifications on who's been selected. And from that notification, we're going to get really busy to get you that phase 1 award. They're fixed price contracts, $240,000, 12 months worth of work. Okay. Beauty here. We're going to do a kickoff brief in the first 2 weeks. And we're going to talk about some things so you can get that first payment at 50% of that $240,000. Okay. And you'll compete for phase 2 at the end of the phase 1. Phase 2, remember that $2 million? Okay. You're only competing against the awardees in that phase 1. Okay. Normally 2 to 3 companies. So there's your competition. 1 or 2 other companies to get to phase 2. Technical merit, personnel, commercial potential. It's a down select. We do it the initial. We actually break up your phase 2 proposal with an initial phase 2. Then you're invited to provide a full phase 2 proposal, mostly because we're trying to limit the amount of work you've got to do. Because if it's not an initial good phase 2 proposal, why bother you asking for 50, 60 pages in a full phase 2 proposal? Pretty key here. It's cost plus fixed fee, which means you need to have an approved counting system, which you should have been working on day 1 when you got your phase 1 proposal. To work through that, to get certified, it's not impossible, but don't wait too long to do it. $1.9 million, we're rounding up to 2 these days, 18 to 24 months. Every topic is allowed per company, every topic in a company. So you can have 1 phase 1 per topic company, but 2 phase 2s per company on that topic. Okay. So we're going to do that first phase 1. What happened? That first phase 2, I'm sorry. What happens if we haven't got across the finish line? Well, that's a good reason for us to do that second phase 2. That's that sequential to where, hey, we want to continue the progression of that technology. Not quite there. I need to de-risk it a little more before I'm going to use some of my own money, some of that 97 cents on the dollar that's not in the SBIR program. Okay. Subsequent is when another organization with the Navy or another sister service wants that technology adapted for their use. So let's say your topic in your phase 2 was to develop those coatings for ship use. And now the aviation folks go, it has applicability. Do I want? That would be a subsequent phase 2 to adapt that technology for use by the aviation community. Okay. The other thing that happens in the Navy at phase 2 is every phase 2 awardee will be invited to our transition programs, and we'll get that into a minute. But if you do that, you can't request technical and business assistance, which is allowed at phase 2, $50,000, because we're going to scale that and provide more value to you through our programs with that. Okay, so what do we have for transition programs? And oh, by the way, they are unique to the Navy. STP, SBIR, STTR transition program, been around for 23 years. Why do we keep that around? Because historically, companies that participate in STP have a 17% greater phase 3 track record. Okay. Think of it as being your MBA on the business side of technology. So you're great you're a great engineer, scientist, but now you need to be able to scale and deliver at scale. Okay. So we're not going to answer all the questions, but we're going to make sure you address the questions that should be considered. So at the end of your phase 2, when the Navy says, I love what you did, I need you to deliver 10 next month, 50 in 6 months, and 100 at the end of the year, we don't want to hear you can't deliver, because we still have a failure. We got a great technology that I can't get to the warfighter, and nobody's happy at that point. Okay. If you go to navystp.com, you'll learn more about the program and why, if you become a Navy SBIR, Department of the Navy, which would be Navy and Marine Corps, and you get selected for phase 2, why you should seriously consider participating in STP. Okay. Another program we have is DON SBIR. We love our nested acronyms. It's both for our technical community and for you to get into, no kidding, Navy experimentation. It's really difficult to find someone that wants to allow your technology to touch a Navy ship. Okay. And we've got people that work through all of those challenges. Okay. Lots of information there. So if you need to understand what you should bring when we're going to bring your technology aboard a Navy ship and go floating in the water for a while, for instance, one of the things you learn is don't show up with open-toed shoes. You think that'd be kind of weird, but that's true. Navy launch, we actually start working with companies that are going to consider dual use and might want to use venture cap funding. How do I scale? Where's the entrepreneurial spirit in me? Great resource. We had a cohort that just finished up, 20 companies, and they raised, I want to say a little over, well, yeah, $40 million. Okay, to help them scale. Okay. And it's all about delivering capability to the warfighter, because if I have a successful company, if you're successful, I increase my odds of getting a solution into the hands of the warfighter. Okay. It might be short-sighted of us that we're going to take care of us first and then you second, but together we hopefully have success. Please don't freeze on me. Okay, different ways to go. Phase 3, remember we talked about that way back when? The holy grail, the one metric of success with the SBIR program is, did you commercialize your technology? Okay. Some things that come with phase 3s in SBIR. It has no SBIR money involved, but it has tremendous authorities within the federal government. One of those is the right to sole source contract. Our technical folks are always working on cost, schedule, performance to get that solution to the Navy within the constraints of the budget provided by the U.S. government. Okay. And we have to compete that full and open. But because you already competed at phase 1 and phase 2, Congress says you can go straight to phase 3. You don't need to do another competition for that contract. You see the size limit. No size limits. So yeah, remember that $2 million phase 2, maybe another $2 million phase 2. Okay, phase 3, unlimited. In fact, in FY23, one of my phase 3 companies had a $100 million contract. That's kind of nice. Okay. Future phase 3 awards, your ability to do phase 3 awards is unlimited forever as long as you're a small business. Okay. And phase 3 can do pretty much anything as long as we have the correct, we like to call it color of money, as it matched the effort that someone has in the contract, whether or not we're going to do more research, provide the services, or procure that product. Okay. It can be done under phase 3. Okay. What are some of the benefits of the program? I think SBIR, STTR are the best things next to sliced bread. It allows us to create a relationship, you to provide capabilities to the Navy, sailors and Marines. The funding is stable, predictable. It's not alone. It's non-dilutive. We, the government, take no ownership interest in your company. Okay. Research dollars, right? The sole source of reds, we talked about that. You maintain all the intellectual property rights for 20 years. Okay. You have a great potential to attract other investors. Why? Because you've got the SBIR, STTR stamp of approval on you. Private capital, strategic partners realize, hey, you've already proven yourself that you're a viable entity. Yeah, you're de-risked. I can go with you versus an unknown. Okay, how to stay in touch? Obviously, email. If you do that, we'll answer your questions. We have a website. And before you send me an email, I'd like to learn more about the program. My response is please go to navysbr.com. And then once you've done that and you've got questions, then we'll have a conversation. We put things out on Twitter. We're on LinkedIn. Sounding, it's a quarterly newsletter. It's electronic. Please sign up for it. You can get a feel for what's going on in the SBIR program. And the SBIR Transitions is a quarterly newsletter. Once again, usually highlighting some of our companies, how they're doing, what their successes, what their challenges has been as working with the Navy, all there, hopefully to make things for you as easy as possible. So I think I kind of rushed through that brief. I'm going to put the screen down and see if we have any questions.
Robert, I'd prefer that you have the screen up.
Okay.
Just
My
so
screen
when
or
we
the
go,
black?
yes, your screen, please. Just so when
Okay.
we go through the questions, in case you'd like to go back and reference to any slides, we can do that. While that is happening, just a couple of reminders for our audience, everyone who has stuck with us. All right, so one, this webinar is being recorded since the beginning, and it will be available on our YouTube channel as well as our video library. So if you missed any part, any beginning, or you have to leave and you want to, come back and watch it, then you can certainly do so at the website that I will show in just a couple of minutes, along with our YouTube channel. So if you just go to YouTube and you put in, NJSBDC State Office, our channel will come up and you can watch from our video library. Two, if you'd like to receive the slides that Robert just presented, then you can complete our brief survey. The links have been shared in the chat and you will receive the slides once you complete the survey as a link, and you can visit it as many times as you want. And those are all my reminders. Robert, thank you so much for the presentation. It was a lot of beneficial information, and I hope our audience is able to find value in it and apply that information to their business. Moving on to our Q&A. Raquel, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Raquel is asking, is it often to have a company submit proposal on a bid rather than a small business inquiring and applying to the bid? So does it happen often?
It's not going to be a bid.
Okay.
We don't do bids. So remember, it's we're going to put a topic on the street within that specific solicitation, and you're going to submit a proposal against that very topic. We don't take unsolicited proposals. So I don't need your company capability sheet. It doesn't do much good for me. What I would say is look at those solicitations, look at those topics. Do I believe I have the answer to that technical challenge? Do I believe my company can solve that problem? And that's where the pot of gold at the end is having a good, strong proposal.
And if I'm not mistaken, Robert, I think your agency as well as other agencies, they publish a list of themes. I believe they're called themes or topics that businesses can apply to, or not apply to, I'm sorry, choose to as a topic.
Correct. Well, we always put out there, hey, we're looking at AI, ML this time. But like I said before, each of those solicitations, because I've got 8 commands responsible for different military missions, there's going to be a breadth of different topics out there.
Right.
So what I should have mentioned is NavySBIR.com. NAVY search.com, where you can, actually, if you got a second, I can put that website up real quick and you can look at it. Wrong thing. Okay. So let me stop sharing. Let me go to here. Okay. From the, can you see my screen?
We are still seeing the PowerPoint. So you'll have to switch your shared screen.
Stop sharing that. I'm going to go back in here. And where did it go? Share screen. There we go. Now, do you see the Navy SBIR STTR homepage? Okay.
Yep.
Oodles and noodles of information here, folks. Everything about the topics that are open, topics soon to be open, awardees from previous topics. So remember I talked about what's the Navy looking for? One way to look at that is to search on our Navy Award success stories. Okay. So if you go to NavySBIRsearch.com, you'll see here's our search engine, and it relates to every topic we've ever had. So if you could ask someone to throw out a technical topic area they're interested in, just go ahead and give us one. First one in the chat wins. And if you can tell me what someone wrote, I'll put it in here.
Cybersecurity. Oh, did we get something else?
Oh, that's
weapon
that's
systems.
a huge one. Quantum systems. Cybersecurity is a big deal. It's you'll find that. Well, let's just go quantum, and I hit search. Look at it, gives you the relevance of the topic. The idea, you can click into this, you'll see the topic summary right there. It shows you when it was done. In fact, this was just recently. The N is Navy, 23 is the fiscal year, the 4 is the solicitation. Okay, it gives you the company that won that topic. You can actually reach out there and say, how was life working with the Navy? Worst experience of my life. That TPOC was horrendous, never answered my questions. I hope you don't get that response. I hope you hear, we had a fabulous time. Very proactive technical point of contact. He knew where the solution was going to go, but we hit a technical roadblock. Well, really? Just so happens that's the area my company is strong at. Maybe we should talk. Okay. You can also go in here and it gets the technical point of contact. You can reach out. They're not going to talk to you about the topic that's probably under execution, but you can talk about low probability of intercepted detection technology capabilities. And maybe that will help inform the next topic. So you see the applicability of all of those topics we ever had before. I like to tell people one thing is, what happens if over time I've seen a topic related to quantum over and over and over, okay, and I stop seeing topics related to quantum? There's only 2 reasons you wouldn't see quantum topics anymore. We solved the technical challenge, or I don't have enough money to pursue research in quantums. Okay. I'll stop sharing and see if there are any other questions.
Yes, we do have more questions. So that was the first one. Second question is from Victoria, who is asking, I am looking for funding to support a PhD dissertation as a former DoD and Department of Navy civilian employee, focusing on flying drone surveys to find hidden graves within historical cemeteries, creating a DNA model to interactive ARCGIS maps to trace the ancestry of those veterans buried.
So unless, So unless you're going to submit a proposal to an SBIR topic and execute that topic, you're not going to get funding from us. You might want to look at the Office of Naval Research. They do have some money for scholarships, but you wouldn't find money for scholarships within the SBIR STTR program. But I also have to tell you, some of my most successful companies were started when they were in their dorm room. Okay. Remember, you've got to be a small business at the day you sign that contract. There's some other things you have to do, but people don't have to be on the payroll and the rest of it until you made the award. So you can still apply while you're still forming as a company. It just has to be formed and operating on the day you sign that contract.
Right. Victoria had two follow-ups along with
Okay.
that. Victoria says, I am an FAA certified remote pilot who will use AI to write the algorithm from the drone data to create the maps. Can commercialization include licensing the technology to veterans organizations and companies such as Ancestry.com, as well as the data algorithm for the warfighter?
It's your intellectual property. Who you sell it to is up to you. Okay. So licensing it, that commercial approach, great. But if you didn't solve the Navy problem, if that didn't get integrated into my systems, you're probably not going to get selected for funding. We love the fact that you're going to be a commercial success right after you've solved our problem.
Got it. Hopefully that helps, Victoria. If you'd like to receive one-on-one counseling for it, feel free to come in for a consultation with the tech team, and you can go to njsbdc.com/tech team, request counseling, and someone will reach out to you. All right, next
Uzma,
question.
and that's a good
Yeah,
segue if I can. There are
yeah, of
lots and
course.
lots of firms out there that are ready for you to pay them money for them to give you counseling assistance and move things. I caution you that use your free resources first,
Exactly.
because that's why they're there. Okay.
Mhm.
And you can see the state of New Jersey is very interested in helping their small businesses. So if you want to waste your money, go hire a consultant. But I recommend you go buy Uzma a cup of coffee and have a conversation.
Yes, the easiest way. The easiest way. No, but
Yeah.
that I completely agree with Robert. Come into us. We are federally funded organization. So, and everything that you will discuss with us remains confidential. Nothing gets shared or discussed outside. All right, next question. Thanks so much for the presentation. I wonder what is the timeline for award decision and for award if they're released from the federal account.
Remember, from when the solicitation closes, we work really, really hard to make that selection announcement within 90 days. And from when that selection announcement date, we work really, really hard to get you under contract in another 90 days.
Got it. Thank you. Next question. Okay, that has been answered. Next question is from Bala Subramaniam. They ask, we have a team of software professionals to support customized apps development. How do we go about offering IT staffing services?
Great question. So if you've already got a product ready for the Navy to buy, you're not going to find alignment with the SBIR program. Because remember, we're going to take that ability and progress that technology. But you should be visiting the Office of Small Business Programs to see where you can best fit, and they can help you find the right door to market your solutions to the Navy.
All right. Thank you. Last question Leah asks is for phase one proposals, can we only select one topic area of submission?
Oh, great question. Great question. You can submit unlimited proposals to unlimited agencies where the only thing you can't do is get paid by the federal government for the same work. twice. So let's say the Navy had a topic related to coatings for their aircraft to make them go faster, and the Air Force had a topic related to coatings to where they wanted to reduce the radar signature. What happens if you get selected for both? First off, that's a terrible place to be. You've got two customers that want your technology. We would have to make sure that we've disaggregated those research efforts. It might be we need to combine both topics to where that base technology is done and paid for, and then you branch out to complete development for the Navy approach and complete development for the Air Force approach. We work through that, but you're not going to get funded to do the same work twice.
Got it. Thank you so much. And that concludes our Q&A session. So we are done with the webinar. Thank you so much, Robert, for the presentation, for doing this for us for NJSBDC. We hope to see you again. If our audience is interested, we'd certainly like to have you back. And I'll just take a moment to go through some of the websites that I was talking about earlier, where our audience can find. But again, thank you so much. All right, so we have njsbdc.com, and we can, right as I went to this, there's a pop-up that occurs. This is for a newsletter. I really, really recommend that you sign up for this, as it's a great resource. You will have events and everything straight delivered to your inbox, and you can attend our webinars without missing any of it. All right, so this is our website. We have blog posts, we have podcasts, we have all the events schedule, upcoming events, everything like that. And then we also have a resources hub. If you'd like to request counseling after today's webinar, don't go to this. I will show you where you can register. This is just our general counseling. So this is where if you need help with, let's say, marketing or accounting or, all right, bye, Robert. Thank you so much. And if you need help with marketing, accounting, whatever, HR, you can request general counseling from here. If you want tech team specifically, this is where you go. And the website is njsbdc.com/tech team, that one. Just to quickly show you where our video library is that I've mentioned, you go to events, this page over here, a new tab opens up. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of webinars that we've done over the past couple of years on many, many different topics, many from the tech series, DHS SBIR, innovating with the US Department of Homeland Security, advanced techniques in SBIR STTR market research and customer discovery, along with cybersecurity myths, tips, holiday season that has passed, QuickBooks, things like that. So definitely a cool thing to check out. Then if you go to this page over here, a reminder, we do offer counseling and webinars and events in Spanish. So if you'd like to receive any of it in Spanish, then please just request and let us know. This is where you'll find statewide events. So remember the map that I showed earlier where there were 11 centers? So this is where you'll find events from everyone. Most of the webinars and events are free. Some require a minimal fee. Others are either in person online, excuse me, or some in Spanish, like this one. And lastly, I won't take up much of your time. This is a tech team page. This is where you go. Again, this is the website over here. This is where you put in your email, select a county. And the first person who will speak to you over the phone is probably going to be me. So we'll do an eligibility counseling phone call, a very quick phone call. Then if you're eligible, we assign you to a consultant. And this is our team. All right, so that is enough for me. I just want to quickly show you that our next session is on Tuesday. I don't think this will be relevant for many of you in attendance today, as this is pertaining to registering your business. since it is related to startups. So if you have any members of your family or friends who would like to register a business, who would like to create an LLC here in New Jersey, register their business with New Jersey, state of New Jersey, then this is perfect for them, and you can refer them to this webinar happening on Tuesday, January 30th. And that is all from us today, tech team. We've helped grow, and if you'd like to keep in touch, let us know. Where you can always find us on our social media links and social media pages, our emails. Thank you so much. Take care and see you in the next webinar. Bye-bye.